Welcome to the Screencast-O-Matic video version of some more problems from the mixed factoring notes. We did not finish the last two pages, and I thought that you might benefit from seeing those problems worked out, so I'm going to go ahead and work some of those out. And also, I wanted to remind you that you can always go to start working these problems yourself, and then turn me off and work the problems yourself, and then turn me back on and check your progress. So that's a great way for you to practice these problems. Okay, so we are on what is my page 6, and I know is the last page on your notes. And we're on practice problem number 1. And as you remember, our procedure is that the first thing that we're going to do is factor out a GCF. Well, first thing we're going to check and see if this is in descending order. And indeed, 3, 2, 1. It is in descending order, so we're going to factor out a GCF. I see a GCF of 5k. That's going to leave 6k squared plus 1k minus 2. Okay, now we have a trinomial, so we're going to try AC factoring. A times C is 6 times negative 2, and that would be a negative 12. Whoop, I wrote one thing and said another thing. A negative 12. And we have a positive 1 for B, so we're looking for two factors of negative 12 that will add up to a positive 1, and I believe that will be 4 and negative 3. So we're going to let that 5k, the GCF factor, ride with us for a while. And we're going to split this middle term, 6k squared plus, I'm going to actually do the minus 3k first, so that's going to produce a prettier factor between the factoring by grouping. Minus 3k plus 4k minus 2. Okay, now we can factor by grouping. 5k is still writing. So I see a GCF of 3k and 2k minus 1 plus a 2, and we get 2k minus, oops, a 2 plus a 2 and 2k minus 1. Okay, 5k, and we can pull the 2k minus 1 off of both of these factors, and we're left with 3k plus 2. Okay, moving on to the next one, and turn me off if you want to practice this by yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to reorder these in descending order. Negative 6u squared minus 33u minus 30. And then we always do a GCF. Since the u squared coefficient is a negative, we're going to pull that negative off, up, and that's not a negative 6. And that would be a negative 3 as our GCF. Negative 3 and 2u squared plus 11u minus 15. Since this is now a trinomial, we're going to try AC factoring. 2 times negative 15 is negative 30 for A times C. And our middle term, B, is a positive 11. So two factors of negative 30 that add up to a positive 11. So I'm thinking of 15 and 2. I'm thinking of 10 and 3. But I'm not finding if we make either of these positive, negative, to add up to the negative. Oh, but let's see, did I make a mistake? I certainly did. Here's a good opportunity for you to see me making a goof up. No wonder I couldn't factor this. So I went back up and took a quick look, and oh look, when I factored a -3 off of this, I should have gotten, and you probably realized, I should have gotten a +10. This is going to make a big difference. So yes, we do make mistakes, and we go back and we correct them. So A times C is now a +20. So two factors of 20 that add up to 11. Is that, and that's correct. I'm just going back and rechecking. So I'm thinking 5 and 4. I'm thinking 2 and 10. And therefore I am thinking that that this is not factorable, but I just have this feeling that it is. So I'm going to go back through and check one more time that I have, when I factor a -3, I get a +2. When I factor a -3, I get a +11. When I factor a -3, I get a +10. So 5 and 4, 10 and 2, and 20 and 1. And I just don't find any way to factor that any further. So I think we are done with factoring. If you find a way, please come and tell me. Okay, let's do this one. I see that it's in descending order. I see that it doesn't have a GCF. So we go, and it's a trinomial. So we're going to go to AC factoring. I see A times C is a -16, and B is a 15. And that's going to leave us with 16 and -1 as our middle term split. X squared plus 16x minus x minus 16. And then we do our pairs, and that would be x plus 16 and minus 1x. Oh, this is an x to the 4th, and those are squareds. So that makes a difference. X squared, and minus, that's a plus 16. So this is going to turn out to be really interesting. I wonder if your thoughts are going along the same lines as mine. So I could pull off an x squared plus 16 and an x squared minus 1. We always reevaluate any factoring to see if we can factor again. And I wonder if you're starting to factor this, x squared plus 16. Well, that is a binomial, but it has a plus sign. This is the sum of two squares, not the difference. So we can't factor that any further. But this one is the difference of two squares. So we can say x minus 1, x plus 1, and that is the final answer. Okay, let's move on to the next one. First thing we always do is arrange this in descending order. Factor a GCF. Since that biggest term is, the term with the biggest exponent is a negative, we're going to factor a -y off of this. We get 4y squared plus, oh, that's a minus, minus y minus 5. Okay, now we have a trinomial. So we do AC factoring again. And that's a -20 is A times C, and a -1. So I bet you that's going to give a -5 and a +4 as our factoring. the negative y, our GCF is going to write 4y squared plus 4y minus 5y minus 5. Negative y is still going to write, and we have 4y and a y plus 1 minus 5 and a y plus 1, negative y, y plus 1, and 4y minus 5. Okay, let's keep on chugging. If you would like to turn it off, let me remind you, turn it off and try these yourself before you listen to me. So, are we in descending order? R squared, R, and no R, so we are. We have a negative 1 on as the coefficient of R squared, so we're going to pull that off. And R squared minus 5R minus 14. So we have two factors, and that would be a negative 14, and our B is 5. So that's a positive 7, negative 2, negative 1, R squared, minus 2R plus 7R minus 14, negative 1, and R times R minus 2 plus 7R minus 2, negative 1, R plus 7, R minus 2. Okay. Is this in descending order? Number 6. I have an a cubed. It's the first letter of the alphabet. A cubed, a squared, a. And so it is in descending order. But I need to factor out a GCF first. And I see an A and a B. And then we left 5a squared plus 12. It should be a 12. AB plus 4b squared. Now that AB is going to ride, and we need two factors of 20 that add up to 12. And so let's think. Oh, I'm thinking that this is going to be a 10 and a 2. 5a squared plus 10ab plus 2ab plus 4b squared. And we can group. We have 4 terms, so we can factor by grouping. And I have a 5a, a plus 2, and a 2b, and an a plus 2. AB, 5a plus 2b, and an a plus 2. Okay, I think what I'm going to do for the second page is just stop this, and then you can look at the solutions. Alright friends, I'm back, and I've worked these 8 problems for you. What I would like for you to do is try and work through these problems, and then come back to this video, have a look at my solutions. You can pause to get the solutions off of here. And that's a great way for you to study for your quiz. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.